Hey, ShaDon, it's Jody Dillon with Cardinal Authority. What have you seen with Russ, and I guess when did he get back maybe full speed, and how has he returned this fall camp?
Well, Russ has done a great job, battling back from an injury that he had in the Syracuse game last year. Went through a tough offseason with, multiple surgeries on his knee, and he's come back really strong. I think, throughout this camp, the day that I feel like I saw the old Russ was about a week ago. I think practice 7. He broke on a ball, made a great play in practice, and I could see that explosiveness start to come back. But he's done a really good job, and we've been really cautious with him. We know what he can do, and he's a really competitive player. Wants to be out there for every snap, but also know that we got to be careful and bring him along to get him ready for that first game against WKU.
Coach Russ Brown with Kentucky today. Now that Clark is eligible to play, what kind of an impact is that going to have on your group?
Well, Trey is an unbelievable player. Getting his eligibility waiver was a huge addition for our football team for this season. And he's a great player, got great ball skills, very competitive, but he's a great kid as well. He's fit into the defensive back room and our locker room very well. And that's the number one thing that we want is if we add an addition, we want to make sure it's a fit culturally for our locker room. But he's come in, picked up the scheme, and then he's a playmaker. And I think anytime you can add a playmaker, that adds some versatility to what you can do on the defensive side, because we feel like he can lock down one side of the field, and now we don't have to play somebody over the top of him all the time.
Hey,
Hi,
ShaDon,
Michael
Cameron from the Journal.
Cardinal Authority. Go ahead, Cam.
Okay, so kind of going back to Russ, do you feel like Russ is 100%, or you feel like he's still maybe like a week or two away from being back to 100%?
Yeah, I think he's 100%. He's made some plays out there that shows you that he's 100%, but I'm not 100% ready to make him 100%, if that makes sense. I want to be cautious because I truly believe that you always want to get your thoroughbreds to the Derby, and he's one of the thoroughbreds. So I'm going to make sure that I get him to the starting gate on September the 12th. Without any hiccups. So I've been cautious with him as a coach. He wants to do more and more every day, but we're giving him probably about 25 to 30% of the reps out there right now, and then there's other days when I give him a lot more. So it's just me being cautious, and Coach Satterfield trusts my judgment on that, and so that's how we're handling him right now.
Hi, Coach. Michael McCammon, Cardinal Authority. With him getting, I guess, limited reps, how is that helping, the young guy like Lovie Jenkins, get that experience in camp?
Well, it's unbelievable because the other thing that Russ is becoming is a coach on the field for us. The reps that he's not in there, he does a great job of helping those young guys. But Lovie Jenkins, getting those reps has been unbelievable for him, because otherwise he wouldn't get those game speed reps that he needs for his development. And I always tell our players that you are one play away from becoming a starter, or you're one play away from becoming a number 2. And so getting those young guys some reps has been really good, because I feel like I know what I have in Russ, but it allows me to develop the younger players, and it also keeps those guys engaged as we go through this long camp process to get to that first game.
To continue on that, how's he impressed you in camp this far?
Lovey's done a great job. I think the thing that's most impressive that he's been physical. He's come up and tackled, and then I think he's getting better in terms of the pass game. understanding leverages and things like that. And I think the biggest thing for a freshman at this level is to get adapted to the speed of the players, but also the speed of how the plays are called. The game is a lot faster than high school, so he's coming along with that, and again, he's nowhere where he needs to be right now, but he's getting better every day, and he's got an unbelievable attitude.
Coach Russ Brown again. What kind of improvement do you expect out of your secondary this second season? Obviously, you're well aware they had some problems last year.
Yeah, well, I think anytime you're year 2 in a system, I think you get a better grasp of it as a player, as a coach. And I think the players, you can see now that we're doing a lot more. I complimented our guys the other day. We're doing a lot more disguises within our defense, not by call, but by them knowing where they're supposed to be. I think that's going to help us be better. I think we've also upgraded our talent level with some of the additions that we've made. And so we're going to be able to play more guys. I thought last season we were limited in the number of guys that we played. And so we've built our depth a little bit. I think we're still a year away from having the depth that we want and need, but we've added some pieces that I think can help us. And I think, having the second year of a defensive coordinator is critical as well, because now the kids know what to expect and they know the schemes and they understand kind of what Coach B's thinking when he calls a game, as opposed to, having a new coordinator and new coaches every year. So I think you'll see a jump. I'm not going to put a number on it, but I will guarantee you'll see a jump in our secondary.
ShaDon,
Coach, this is Matt McGavick with Sports Illustrated. Obviously, go ahead, Jody.
You were talking about the depth there. At this point, with your two spots at safety, what's the optimal depth, and where do you feel comfortable right now?
Well, if I can play four guys, I feel really good about playing four guys. The one thing that I really always try to do is cross-train guys, and that adds to your depth. But if we've got four guys back there that can play, I feel good, and I feel like that's kind of where we are right now, that, hey, I've got four guys that I can plug and play at any of those spots. Now, the two young guys right now, they're kind of solidified at either strong or free because they hadn't had the number of snaps. But the guys that have been here, I feel like I can move those guys around some to create more depth in a situation where a guy like Isaiah Hayes can play either spot. We've even worked Jack Fagot at either spot just to increase the depth amongst our room. And I feel good about four guys, those older guys. And those young guys, they're ready to play, but they would have to be in one spot. And, that's just a repetition thing right now that we're going through with them to get them comfortable with playing either strong or free. And I'm talking about the other guy being Josh Minkins.
Coach Matt McGavick with Sports Illustrated. Backing off the tail end of that question, obviously you have Lucky Jenkins, one freshman safety doing well so far in camp. But how has Josh Minkins looked? What are you seeing out of him so far?
Well, Josh Minkins has great speed and great range, exactly what we saw when we recruited him. I think he's done a phenomenal job when he's in a one-on-one situation. I think the area that he's growing in is being a defensive back full-time. In high school, he played wide out and he played DB a little. And so he's getting used to playing safety every snap. You got to be the quarterback of the defense, making all the calls. I think that's an area where he's growing. But as far as an athleticism, he may be the most athletic DB we have out there, being a 6'3" guy. He's gained 15 pounds since he's been here already, and he can run like a deer.
Hey, ShaDon, Cameron again. We know Jack was a little bit banged up during the spring. How has he been this fall camp? And I know Brian said he got a lot of reps in the scrimmage. How was he in that scrimmage as well?
Excuse me, I didn't hear the question. Repeat it for me.
Yeah, Jack, how has he been in camp? And I know Brian said he got a lot of reps in that scrimmage as well. How was he in that scrimmage?
Oh, Jack Fagot's been great. Jack has made a bunch of plays for us. Jack is calmed down a lot. He solidified himself as when he came in to getting a scholarship last year, I felt like he still had that I'm a walk-on mentality where he didn't want to be in the front of the lines. And now he's solidified himself, making some plays. Again, we've moved him around to different positions because he's one of our, in my opinion, our top 11 defensive guys. So we've given him reps at different positions just to make sure that we get our best guys on the field. And he's had a great camp so far. He's got a better grasp of what we're doing, and he's making plays. And I'm fired up as can be about Jack, and wouldn't hesitate to put him in the game at any spot at any time.
And ShaDon, you had mentioned you had four guys you feel pretty comfortable right now. I imagine three of them are Russ, Isaiah, and Jack. Who was the fourth one you were mentioning?
Yeah, Trinell Troutman's the other older guy in the room that is getting reps at free safety right now. Trinell's a physical guy, does a great job playing in the box, and he'll be a scenario guy for us. Like kind of like Kane Pass was. Kane was a lot better when he was down in the box and made a lot of plays for us there. And Trinell is a guy that has those same skill sets and that tenacity to fit the box and do some things for us there. So we'll utilize him in packages. And he would be the fourth guy, but again, Lovey Jenkins is coming along, and he'll get some reps early, and both those young guys will play them early to get their feet wet because with the way the situation is this season and the uniqueness of 2020, at some point those freshmen are going to play, and we're going to do everything we can early on in the season to get them some reps for their development.
All right, Coach, we'll wrap it up on that. We appreciate the time.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Post them up. Oh, yeah. That's ready. All right. I'm pretty sure. You got a picture here.
All right.
How y'all doing today? Yes, sir.
We'll keep things going with University of Louisville defensive back Kei'Trel Clark. You guys can go ahead and go for him.
Kei'Trel, hey, it's Jody with Cardinal Authority. First of all, do you want to be called Trey or Kei'Trel? Let's clear that up, and then just talk about your emotions when you heard the news that you're eligible to play.
I go by Trey. That's cool. Y'all can call me that. And going through my emotions, we had just got out of practice, and we was just in a huddle. And Coach Satterfield and Josh and Matt had called me over, and it was like, man, we got some good news for you. And I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't even read the text message, but they said it's been approved. So I ran away and did a backflip. I was excited. I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah, man, it's just a blessing that happened for me, most definitely.
What have you been through kind of waiting for it? And I mean, you kind of thought in your mind, did you think you were going to get it? And kind of the process of what the last few weeks have been like practicing and not knowing.
So I try to just keep it in the back of my mind. I didn't really think about it because at the end of the day, it's all in God's plan. So, if it would have went through, then, as it did, thinking back at then, if it would have went through, then, hey, that's a plus. But if it didn't, all right, that just gave me motivation to get better for another year. So, and learn the system better. So, it really didn't dwell on me like that. But I was waiting for the information. Most definitely.
Hey,
Trey, Michael McCammon, Cardinal Authority. We've heard some good things from you, from some of your coaches about your performance at fall camp. How would you evaluate yourself so far after a few weeks?
I evaluate myself as I've been doing okay. I don't want to boost myself too much. I done made some plays here and there, but that's always something that I could have done better. So not boosting myself, but also, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what to expect really, coming from Liberty, not to say that those guys' athletic abilities weren't anything of such, but coming here playing against some guys that were highly recruited 5-star athletes, just coming over here, I was like, man, how am I gonna perform? But I just had to trust and believe in my technique and what I was taught. So I'm performing, and I'm going to continue to do what I can do to help out this team, and continue to get coached by Coach Brown.
Trey, Cameron from the Courier Journal. When you made the decision to transfer, obviously there was stuff outside of football that made you want to move places. What made Louisville the right place, and what has your relationship been like with Brian Brown so far?
Just making the decision to come here. The coaches, they were very transparent with me. They kept it real, and that's one of the things that I felt like I really needed at the time that I was in my life, because my decision had to be quick, because fall camp came quickly. It was less than a month away. So what I was looking for is someone who was going to keep it real and let me know what the program was all about, and don't leave out any information. And that's what Coach Brown did. just speaking with him, he just let me know everything about the program, just showing me the culture around the school, and I could see that it's very diverse, and it made me feel well and comfortable here. So, and me and Coach Brian Brown, we've been close. We still building a relationship. Cause we just met a couple months ago, but I feel like we are a good fit, and I feel like it's gonna be a great year for the whole team.
Trey, Kentucky.com. What's your impression of the guys that you're playing with now, the rest of the secondary?
In the secondary, I feel like we got this team is gonna be unstoppable. I'm gonna just say it like that. Just playing against the best offense in the country. The guys in the secondary, we getting better every single day as we line up against guys like Tutu and Dez and Justin Marshall. We line against those guys. I feel like our secondary, we're gonna be pretty strong. Especially with the defense that we run. Coach Brown, he puts us all in a situation to do well. So, I just feel like our defense as a whole, and just I'm able to trust the guy next to me, in front of me and behind me, so I can do my job and know that they're going to do their job. So I can say that being on this team, my trust level is 100% with these guys already. So I feel like we're brothers. So, we're going to be good.
Trey, Cameron again. Obviously, you talked about you had to get here pretty quickly. How do you feel you are in kind of catching up on the playbook, and how much work have you had to put in the last month and a half to catch up before the season?
I would say as soon as I got here, I got the playbook, and I was literally studying so much that I would have dreams about the plays that I studied. So I know the playbook a lot. Like I can play. At first, I was kind of, slow a little bit with the game because I was like, I was studying it on paper, but it didn't get to do it on the field. But now I get to do it on the field. So now I'm playing with my true self and be able to play comfortably and have that swagger that I have. So now it's like I know it, and ain't no forgetting it now.
When you had the dream, did you always make the play?
Of course, you know that. Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for Trey before we wrap up for the day?
Yeah, Steven, I got one more. Trey, we've heard, like we said, we've heard a lot of good things about you. You're athletic, you're a playmaker. What do you think your best asset to the secondary is?
My best asset?
Yeah.
One thing that Coach Brown preaches is doing your job. I feel like I'm that person that my teammates can count on to do my job, to make sure that if I need to be here in that position, I'm going to be there. So I feel like my best attribute of being on the field is I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to be a dog, and I'm going to make a play.
All right. We'll wrap up on that. Trey, we appreciate it. Everybody else, thanks for being with us today, and have a good evening.
Yes, sir.